Most people researching the Nashville area have heard of Brentwood, they've heard of Franklin, but there's a third community in Williamson County that doesn't get nearly as much attention. And in my opinion, for the right buyer, it's the most interesting real estate story in this entire market right now. Today, I'm answering the 3 questions I get asked most about Fairview, Tennessee. Is it actually affordable? Is it a good place to live? And should you move there? Starting with question 3 and working up to question 1, I get about Fairview. Let's go. And if Fairview is already on your radar, or if you've been looking at Franklin or Brentwood and wondering if there's a smarter option, I work across all 3 of these in Williamson County. I do this with comparison to families every single week. Free consultation, no pressure, link in the description. Also, there are links in the description to my free Nashville relocation guide and a free home search tool. Now, let's get into it. The third most searched question about Fairview is actually whether it's affordable. And the answer is yes, but with important nuance that most content about this market glosses over. Fairview's median home price runs in the mid 400s well into the 600s for family-sized homes with a meaningful selection of resale inventory well below that depending on the age of the home, lot size, and condition. To put this in context, the median in Brentwood is pushing $950 to $1.1, Franklin $900 to $1.1 in established neighborhoods. Fairview puts you in the same county, the same school district, and the same tax environment for roughly 40 to 50% less on entry. That's not a small difference. For buyers bringing equity from a high-cost market, it can be the difference between carrying a heavy mortgage and owning your home outright or nearly so. I've seen that scenario play out many times, and it changes everything about how family feels financially. So, here's the part about Fairview's affordability story that most people miss entirely, and it's the part that makes the math really compelling. Tennessee has 0 state income tax. That's the same advantage that makes Brentwood and Franklin attractive, and it applies equally in Fairview. Williamson County's effective property tax rate runs about 0.65. On a $500,000 home in Fairview, you're looking at roughly $3,250 per year in property taxes. Compare that to the tax burden and market these buyers are typically leaving: New Jersey, California, Illinois, New York, and the savings aren't marginal. They're life-changing for a lot of families. The cost of living index for Fairview runs close to the national average, which means your daily expenses, groceries, utilities, dining out, are not inflated the way you are in many suburban markets. Publix is available locally here for regular shopping. For anything more specialized, Franklin is 20 minutes east on Highway 96, and it gives you access to the full range of premium retail and dining. Most of the families find that within a few months of being here, their monthly financial picture feels dramatically lighter than where they left, even if the mortgage number initially looks similar on paper. And here's what affordable actually gets you in Fairview that it doesn't get you in Franklin or Brentwood. It buys you land, half-acre lots, and larger are common in Fairview. They're the standard, not the exception. An acre plus is generally achievable here at prices where you'd be lucky to get a quarter acre in Franklin. Rural lots with mature hardwoods, homes with room for a workshop, a garden, a real backyard that doesn't touch your neighbor's fence. All of these exist in Fairview at prices that have largely disappeared from the rest of Williamson County. For buyers who spent years squeezed into a suburban lot in their previous city, the space Fairview offers at the price point is one of the most emotionally compelling things about it. Affordability here doesn't mean less, it means more. More land, more privacy, more room to actually live. The second most searched question is whether Fairview is actually a good place to live. And to answer that, well, I want to go through the things that matter to the families and retirees I work with. Safety, schools, lifestyle, and community. Let's start with safety because it matters and the data on Fairview is genuinely strong. Fairview's overall crime rate is approximately 39 to 45% below the national average. The violent crime rate specifically is above about 45% below the national average and nearly 68% below the Tennessee state average. Those are not marketing numbers. That's the actual crime data. Fairview is a very safe community. The police department is local and responsible for a city of about 13,000 people. Residents consistently describe Fairview as a place where they feel comfortable and at ease in a way that's hard to quantify until you lived it. But that shows up in how people talk about their daily experience here. Parents let their kids play outside. People know their neighbors. The community atmosphere is warm, and the crime picture backs that up. Schools are the next question for most families, and Fairview's school answer is one of the strongest selling points and simultaneously one of its most misunderstood. Fairview sits entirely within Williamson County Schools, which is consistently ranked among Tennessee's top districts. Fairview High School has been nationally recognized by Newsweek as one of America's top high schools. Fairview Elementary and Westwood Elementary serve the community and carry the same district-wide investment and culture that makes Williamson County Schools exceptional. Here's the thing I want you to really hear. You get the same Williamson County School District in Fairview that you get in Brentwood at a home price that's roughly half. That is a significant value equation, and it's the primary reason I see family after family make the choice to go a little further west than they originally planned once they understand what they're actually getting here. The district doesn't just change at the county line. The investment, the expectations, the culture, it follows you all the way out to Fairview. Now, let's talk about what life actually looks like day to day in Fairview. And I want to be accurate here rather than just enthusiastic. The lifestyle anchor in Fairview is the outdoors. Bowie Nature Park is a 700-acre city-managed park, one of the largest city parks in Tennessee, with over 17 miles of trails through forests, grasslands, wetlands, lakes for fishing, a dog park, an education center, and generally beautiful nature environment that is accessible to residents on a daily basis. If your idea of a good weekend involves being outside, hiking, biking, fishing, just walking in the woods, Bowie Nature Park alone is a meaningful quality of life asset. The community feel in Fairview is tight-knit in a way that's increasingly uncommon. With a population of roughly 13,000, people know their neighbors here. The Fairview Recreation Center offers a gym, pool, basketball and pickleball courts, and programming. Community events such as Nature Fest, the annual farmers market, outdoor activities create regular touch points that build an actual community. Long-term residents describe a sense of belonging that is harder to find in larger, faster-growing suburbs where turnover is high and anonymity is the norm. The honest calibration I want to give you is about local amenities. Fairview's retail and dining scene is functional. Publix, Walmart, local restaurants, basic services. It's not Franklin's Main Street, and it won't be for some time. If your daily life requires premium retail, a dense restaurant scene, or consistent entertainment options within 5 minutes of your front door, that's a fair gap to acknowledge. For most families who make this move intentionally, the 20-minute drive to Franklin becomes a non-issue within a few months, but it's worth knowing going in. And the most searched question of all, should you actually move to Fairview, Tennessee? I'm going to give you the most useful answer I can, which is to tell you specifically who Fairview is generally exceptional for and who it probably isn't the right fit for. Because the worst outcome is someone moving somewhere based on price alone and then discovering 6 months later that the lifestyle wasn't what they needed. Fairview is generally exceptional for remote workers and hybrid workers and retirees. If your commute to Nashville is 0 days a week or 1 to 2 days a week, Fairview's 30 to 40 minute drive to Nashville doesn't affect your daily quality of life in any meaningful way. And in exchange for that drive, you get significantly more home, significantly more land, and a significantly lower financial burden than you would carry in Franklin or Brentwood. That trade is extremely favorable for the remote work lifestyle, and it's the number one reason I've seen this community attract buyers from California, New York, Idaho, the Northeast, Washington, who are relocating and work remotely. Fairview is exceptional for families prioritizing Williamson County package above all for the schools, but who can't justify or don't want to spend $900,000 to $1.1 to access it. If the school district is the decision driver and price matters, Fairview is the answer. You don't have to compromise on the district to get a price that works for your family. Fairview is exceptional for buyers who want land. If you've always wanted an half acre, an acre or more, a place where you can have a real garden, space for animals, room to build, a workshop, or simply a yard where your kids can run without looking into the neighbor's living room, Fairview is one of the last places in Williamson County where that still is achievable at a reasonable price. And that window is not going to stay open forever. And sometimes you get these houses without an HOA. And Fairview is exceptional for buyers who value community over amenities. If what you're looking for is a place where people know each other, where the pace is slower, and where the feel is generally small town rather than manufactured to appear that way, Fairview delivers that authentically in a way that larger suburbs often can't. Now, who is Fairview probably not right for? If you need to be in Nashville every day and you're sensitive to commute times, 30 to 40 minutes each way adds up to meaningful hours per week, and over a full year, that's significant. There are communities closer to Nashville that would serve a daily commuter better. If the lifestyle draw for you is the energy of Franklin's downtown, the restaurants, the events, Main Street on Saturday morning, Fairview doesn't replicate that yet. It offers something different and for the right person, better, but different. If downtown energy is the thing you'd miss the most, be honest with yourself about that before you fall in love with a Fairview property. And if you need premium retail and dining immediately available to you, not a 20-minute drive, but around the corner, Fairview's local amenity base isn't there yet. It's growing and the trajectory is positive, but right now the honest answer is that you'll be driving to Franklin more than you drive to the grocery store in some other communities. Here's where I land on Fairview as somebody who lives and works here and has put their kids through school. It is the best value story in Williamson County, and I use that word deliberately. Not the cheapest, the best value. Same elite school district, same zero state income tax, more land, lower prices, a safe, tight-knit community with genuine outdoor access through Bowie Nature Park and the surrounding natural environment of western Williamson County. The trade-offs, so commute distance, limited local amenities for now, no downtown energy are real. But for the buyer who is clear-eyed about those trade-offs and whose priority is aligned with what Fairview actually offers, this community is not a consolation prize, it's the right call. I watch families make this move and then tell me 6 months later that it was the best decision they made. Not because Fairview is perfect, but because it was the right fit for their lifestyle, their finances, and the life they actually wanted to build. If you think that might be you, let's talk. I cover all of Williamson County, and I'd love to help you figure out if Fairview is your answer. Click the link in the description to book your free relocation consultation. Zero pressure, zero issues. Subscribe for weekly Williamson County content, and I'll see you on the next one.